Better Daily, where we work hard in our minds, bodies, and our spirits to become 1% better every single day. Download the app and join our Betterment family at betterdaily.live to catch the video version of these podcasts. Here's your host and my dad, Alex Van Houten.
What is up, Betterment family? This is Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Live. Happy Monday. It is Mindset Monday, and I'm really excited about my mindset today, and that is don't stop. Today is day 17 of the Faithful 40 Challenge. Woohoo! Keep up the good work. And day 17, we are 7 days into the grit phase of the Faithful 40 Challenge, and this has a lot to do with the mindset today. So, research has shown that New Year's resolutions are a thing. People generally come around to this time of year and they go, this year is the year that I'm going to do blank, finally. And so they get the gym membership, or they start the diet, or they join the club, whatever it is they're doing for their New Year's resolutions. And research shows that by day 17 in the year, 65% of individuals will have given up on their New Year's resolution. And that really stinks, because many New Year's resolutions are actually pretty awesome. You know, like somebody wants to get healthier, and somebody wants to lose some weight, and somebody wants to have more energy, and somebody wants to spend more time with their kids, or write more often, or read more books, or whatever it is that you're working toward. Most New Year's resolutions are actually very good spirited. And that is why today I'm telling you, don't stop. You see, when it comes to the 1% better philosophy, the reason it works is because it's not giant changes all at once that require immense amounts of motivation to continue. That's not why the 1% better daily thing works. The reason it works is because it's a small thing that you are committed to being consistent about over time. And this actually comes all the way down to, in my world, it comes all the way down to thermodynamics, and why from a nutrition perspective, I don't champion calorie counting very much. The reason is because energy expenditure in thermodynamics is a short-term game at best. It's a short-term game at best because, well, one, it takes so much energy for people to measure every little morsel of food that goes into their body and be conscious about it. But also because it takes a lot of energy on the body's part to shift how much it burns versus how much it takes in and all that stuff. And over time, unless you have lots and lots of bandwidth, those sorts of changes don't stick, right? So imagine this sleeping. You go, hey, in the new year, I've been getting like 5.5, 6 hours of sleep a night. So in the new year, I'm going to get 8 hours of sleep at night. So instead of going to bed at 1 a.m., I'm going to go to bed at 9 p.m. Let's say that that's my New Year's resolution. That's the thing I want, because I know that sleep is good for me. It's going to help my energy levels. It's going to help my memory. It's going to have my cognitive ability. It's going to improve the way I recover from my workout. Sleep is important, so I'm going to make sleep a priority this year. Okay, great. So day 1 of the new year, instead of going to bed at, well, probably not day 1. How about day 2? Day 2 of the new year. Because, you gotta stay up late. And so day 2 of the new year. Instead of going to bed at 1 a.m., you lay down at 9 p.m. What's going to happen if you lay down at 9 p.m. when you're used to going to bed at 1 a.m.? You're not going to fall asleep. You're just going to lay there. Going like, why the heck am I in bed right now? This is dumb. Maybe you last an hour, but you're still going to be laying there like, I'm not asleep yet. Because your body is used to the consistency of a 1 a.m. bedtime. And, well, the 1% better approach would say, okay, you're going to bed at 1 a.m. now. Eventually, you'd like to be going to bed at 9 p.m. You know that would be best for you. You know that would help from a sleep perspective. So let's make week 1 of this year, let's make our bedtime not 9 p.m. That's too big of a change. That's taking on too much at once. Instead of 9 p.m., let's try for midnight. Let's say lights out by midnight. Let's try for that. See if we can get to bed by midnight. And so you try to go to bed by midnight. Now, what's weird is it's not just your body's mechanism that you're fighting against when you go to bed at midnight instead of 1 a.m. You're also changing your habits to do that, right? So if you normally got the kids to bed at a decent time and started to, connect with your wife, I'm speaking from a father's perspective, then, let's say you normally would have started that at 10 p.m. Now you gotta rewind the clock an hour, right? Everything has to rewind an hour. And this is part and parcel of all of the changes that people seek to make around this time of year, is that we become what we consistently do over time. That's a biological fact. You become what you consistently do. Even the genes that your body decides to turn off and turn on has a lot to do with the stressors that you face every single day. And those seemingly insignificant choices that we make about what we have for a snack, or how much water we drink, or whether or not we go to bed on time, or whether or not we get our 5-minute walk in between meals, or whatever. Those seemingly insignificant things are seemingly insignificant for today. But over a long span of time, let's say 365 days, 1 year, those little tiny things add up over time. If I was going to bed at 1 a.m. at the beginning of the year, and this year I made a concerted effort to move that bedtime a little earlier and a little earlier and a little earlier, until at the end of the year, I'm going to bed at 10 p.m. And you could say that to somebody, hey, this year I moved my bedtime 3 hours back to be more normal, like a diurnal mammal, and I'm waking up with more energy and it feels good. And they're like, oh, great, you moved your bedtime 3 hours. Like, woo, give this guy a trophy. If you moved your bedtime 3 hours closer to being a normal diurnal mammal, that means you're awake when the sun is up, and when the sun goes down, you're starting to get sleepy again. If you did that this year, and that trend lasted for the next 30 years, you will change your life. You will change your life. You'll get up a little earlier. Maybe you'll get up in a little better mood. Maybe you'll have more energy in the afternoons. Maybe you'll switch your microbiome from a person who's a night owl, quote unquote, and stays up late at night, to a person who's maybe not a morning person, but a little closer, right? Maybe you're a little happier. Maybe you have an extra hour. There is a person in my life that I care very much for. And we connect. We have very busy lives. We connect once a week, super early in the morning via phone. Super early. And I wouldn't be able to do that if my bedtime was shifted. And this is one of the friendships in my life that has been most influential and most powerful to me as a human being. I promise you that going to bed late and not getting to make this appointment with this person would have changed my life for the worse. And so today's mindset, don't stop. If you have taken on a change this year, do not, I repeat, do not join the 60% of people who have already given up on making that change this year. Instead, what I would encourage you to do is say, hey, look, this thing is, I bit off a little more than I can chew here. If you're tempted to stop, this is what you need to say. You need to say, I attempted to bite off a little more than I could chew. I said, hey, I'm going to go for a 3-mile walk every day for the next 365 days. And you've gotten about 2 weeks into that and you're like, my knees hurt, my back hurts. Man, this is terrible. Instead, you say, hey, I've bitten off a little more than I can chew. What I need to do, I don't get to stop. I need to implement this change. I know I need to implement this change. It's good for me. So I'm going to continue implementing this change, but I'm going to break it down into smaller pieces so that I can stay consistent, because consistency is the key here. No matter what you're trying to change, those seemingly insignificant changes that you make in your life, if you are consistent over a long span of time, they will change you. And you have no idea in what ways they can change you. So, Mindset Monday today, don't stop. Whatever it is that you've set out to do for yourself, don't stop. Those of you who have stayed consistent during this Faithful 40 challenge, I'm so proud of you. Keep it up. And those of you who are listening to me right now and you're like, I started out with the best intentions, but I kind of fell off the wagon. Get back on the dang wagon. Get back on the dang wagon. We're not done, and you don't have to stop. You can jump right back on, start logging your nutrition. You can start moving forward from an exercise perspective, and you can do that 1% better everyday thing that will make a difference, so that next year when we're talking again on January 17th, you will not be the same person because you did not stop. Guys, this has been Alex Van Houten with Better Daily Life. Thank you so much for joining me on Mindset Monday. Tomorrow's Nutrition Tip Tuesday, and I've got something I think you'll enjoy. Until then, it's just 1%. You got this.
Thank you for joining us for your 1% Better today. Don't forget to subscribe for the podcast. Leave us a raving review to tell others how Better Daily has helped you in your journey. If you want more Better Daily, download our app and join our Betterment family at betterdaily.live. Use code POD to get 25% off your subscription. That's POD, all caps, to save 25% on your subscription. We all have a cross to carry. It's later when we do it together. Go to betterdaily.live today.